Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called How to Make $1 Million in 100 Days Just by Selling Fruit from the Side of the Road. When most people think about fruit stands, they picture farming families selling extra products to make about $100 a day, tops. And that's a pretty accurate picture. But in this audio, you're going to meet a businessman who's figured out a way to make $1,000 a day at his fruit stands during peak season. And by running 10 of these stands this summer, he nets about $1 million for 100 days of work, and then takes the rest of the year off. And you can too, no matter what business you're in. The principles of business management, expansion, and upselling that you'll hear in this audio can be applied anywhere to turn even the smallest, most insignificant business into a fortune. You'll also hear how to find the perfect money-making location and places you'll definitely want to avoid. Tips and tricks you need to know in order to get customers and keep them coming. How to get your customers not to care about price. Ways to set higher and higher goals for yourself and never lose sight of the bigger picture. The one fruit you'll need to sell in order to make $1,000 a day at your stands and where to get it. The exact signs you should have at your fruit stand in order to be successful, and how many you'll need and exactly where to put them, and much, much more. The best part about the fruit stand business model is that you don't need to know a thing about farming. You won't need to grow any products, and you'll only need about a $300 investment. This simple business model demonstrates exactly how textbook principles can be applied to any business for $1 million results, even fruit stands. Now let's get going.
Let's start the story. Can we start at the beginning?
Yeah, tell me from the very beginning, how did it all start?
Well, you know, you've stopped at those roadside fruit stands.
Absolutely. It's kind of like a nostalgic thing, you know. As a kid, you can remember, like, if you go on vacations with your family and you stop at the stand, it's always kind of exciting.
Whenever somebody walks up to the stands, they're never unhappy.
Yeah.
They only say one or two things when they come up. Are they really sweet, or how much are your cherries? Those are the only two things they ever say, and it's beautiful. They have a big smile on their face when they say it, and I always hand them a cherry and say, first one's always free. And they smile, and we're talking. Let's start at the beginning so I can share with you how I've crafted and what I say and why I say it.
All right, let's do it. Start from the beginning.
So as a kid, you know, I worked on that fruit stand on the side of the road. Great-grandpa built it, and it was Grandpa's.
Where were you? What state?
Small town in central California, farm town. You know, that whole valley from Bakersfield to past Sacramento is all just farms and fields. And so there's little patches like that I know all over the country, but there's a lot of fruit grown in the California valley.
Were your parents farmers?
Well, their parents were farmers, and they took over. We pass it down from Grandpa to his son, and it keeps going.
So how many generations back has your family been farming?
Every picture that we have, even those old 1800 pictures, they're all black and white, but they're all farming.
Were y'all farming fruit and vegetables, all kinds of stuff?
All kinds of stuff. It was nuts, it was fruits, it was vegetables, and that's how it is when you're a farmer. You start with a few trees of what you want, and then over the years you build, and then your son takes over and he starts something. He likes to grow that, and so that's how it is. Every farm's got a bunch of stuff.
So as a kid, what do you remember about the farm?
I remember picking and knocking. That's where you took a big mallet. We didn't have fancy machinery in those days. Knocking things off the trees with mallets like nuts and picking our peaches or our cherries. It was the greatest life as an 8, 10, 12-year-old to get paid to go run through the fields and fill up buckets with fruit and then come back. And we didn't get paid much, but it was a great way to live your life as a kid. But I got to finally be on the stand at my own. You know, that was when it was really fun.
So the main money, like in farming for you guys or for your family, was you're farming and then you take your bounty and you're selling it in bulk to the packers.
And the packers are taking it and packaging it and sorting it and shipping it out to different areas. And most of the time, no matter what city in America you live in, you can get our fruit. All you got to do is call the broker. Every city's got one. If there's a restaurant in the city, there's likely a fruit and vegetable broker. Look in the yellow pages.
That's farm fresh stuff.
Well, that's stuff that's gone to the packing house the same day it was picked, and 2 days later it's in that broker's cooler. And so when you pick it up, you're not going to really know any difference than if you got it off the farm. That's just the same thing you buy at Albertsons and Safeway.
Okay, evolution of the fruit stand. So there's only so much money selling to the broker. So was the fruit stand an additional way for the farmer to make some money for himself?
Real money, because he's not now selling them for 50, 75 cents a pound. These are current numbers. For his product to the packer, he's able to now put it out there on the street and get $2 for that pound of cherries instead of 70 cents.
And that means a lot.
Well, it only means $100 a day. I mean, that's all the little wooden stands on the side of the road ever bring in, or 100, or if it's right in the middle of the season, you got a lot of stuff, you're maybe bringing in $200 a day, but all the same.
Okay, so as a kid, you remember knocking the fruit down, growing up on the farm, working in the field, and just living that farm life, right?
Yeah, that was my whole life. Well, when I turned 19, Grandpa threw me the keys to the truck, and he said, there's a tent and cherries in the back of the truck. It's time for you to go out on your own and do it. And it was the end of the season, and I didn't do very good. I only went 5 miles to the corner grocery store. We had a little gas station there.
Did Grandpa give you any training or tell you how to do it?
No, I've been on the fruit stand there for several years.
What kind of money did Gramps make on the fruit stand?
He made about $100 a day.
With selling cherries?
Well, everything that he had, it would be cherries and peaches and tomatoes and whatever we could grab off of the farm.
All right, now you're not going to tell me how, but knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time, knowing what you know now after all your experience, could you have shown Grandpa how to make more money?
I could have, yes.
And what could that have meant for him?
Maybe 200 to 300%.
Okay, so tell me about that first day you went out. Tell me, what equipment did you have that first day you remember, I'm sure, selling?
I had a piece of cardboard that I wrote cherries on for my sign. I had a 4x8 piece of plywood that I flipped over upside down on top of the cases to make a table out of.
Okay, but Grandpa, that's what he used, right?
No, he had an actual shed that Great-Grandpa built on the edge of the property.
So he would go out with the truck and the produce and set up where the shed was?
He would go out, load up his truck with what wasn't taken by the packing plant that morning, bring it over to the shed, dump it. Grandma, my mom, my sister, everybody would work there at the shed selling the fruit. Actually, we'd spend the morning just kind of sorting it. This is bad, throw it out. This is good, put it in.
So do you remember what you sold on that first day?
Like $60.
And so did you have to give it all to him, or did you get to keep it?
That was mine.
That was yours?
Yeah.
If you didn't bring it out to the fruit stand, what would have happened to it?
It would have probably got sold over the next couple of days.
Did you learn anything that first day selling fruit?
To get the hell out of town. You're not going to make any money in this farm town. Every 2 miles there's a stand and everybody's selling them for the same price. If they want cherries, why are they going to stop here at the gas station and get them?
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.